Please put your hands together as both of these fighters make their way to the cage. First up, from Leicester in England, it is Josh McManus.
And we are back here at Cage Warriors 88, and we move to the welterweight division. Josh McManus taking on Mick Stanton in what really is one of the highlights of our preliminary card here. McManus and Stanton are two names that really have been setting the MMA world alight here, especially in the north of England. There's been a lot of talk that both of these guys have potentially got great futures.
Yeah, Josh McManus, actually 1-0 is his professional record. Made his pro debut at Cage Warriors 85 back in June. Picked up a first-round choke victory there. Does a few fights at amateur, though. Made the finals of the IAAF championships in Las Vegas as an amateur. We've got to wonder how's his ability to deal with the kind of striking that professionals can throw at him. Gonna compare, you know, a couple of questions perhaps there for him. I honestly think he's going to look for the takedown in this one.
Well, you'd perhaps be remiss not to against a guy like Mick Stanton, who's known for his striking. But as you say, Josh, he's got that high-level amateur background. Great tattoos as well, which obviously we know is going to make him instantly very tough, very mean.
Yeah, you know what? He said something in his pre-fight interviews as well, that he's aware that he's coming up to take on a local guy who's going to have a bit more support than him. And, you know, he kind of relishes that opportunity. I mean, we just saw from our previous fight, you know, it means a lot for guys to get to Cage Warriors, to make their debut and to have a successful bout. So, you know, he's not going to be underestimating Mick Stanton at all.
Yeah, big welterweight contest on deck here as Josh McManus is at our Cage Warriors prep point. Just the one victory, and as you say, Josh, that one victory by way of submission, so clearly that could be the game plan here tonight against Stanton.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome his opponent fighting tonight. Out of the red corner, he is from Liverpool, England, the Height and Hammer, Mick Stanton.
The Height and Hammer, Mick Stanton, is a man I've been lucky enough to see compete a number of times as both an amateur and a professional, Josh, and this guy's got some great hands.
Yeah, a lot of boxing experience for Mick Stanton. 2-1 as a professional. No surprise, the one TKO or the one stoppage he has come by TKO. Definitely the hometown lad here tonight. Gonna have to keep it standing. As you mentioned, Brad, a bit of extensive amateur background. 9 fights as an amateur, mixed record of 5-4 though. So perhaps some questions coming to this one. Has he faced the same level of competition Josh McManus did in those IAAF championships? Well,
you know, from previous experience, he has always fought the best guys. And, you know, he turned pro and fought Mark Kinsella in his second pro fight. Kinsella was one of the best amateurs in the country. That was a fight that may have happened at amateur, and they both hung around for a while. So he may have the mixed record, but records at amateur for me aren't the most important thing. It's all about who you face, and Stano's fought some tough guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's about amateurs, about learning, getting those kinks out before you go pro. Mick Stanton's got a couple of questions to answer, though. I mean, he's coming off his first professional loss, was back in May. I think he picked up an injury in that bout, and, you know, he's really not happy that that's how it ended. He would have preferred if his opponent had actually legitimately stopped him. But, you know, he's going to look to bounce back here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, scheduled for 3 rounds. This is the Cage Warriors welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, this mixed martial artist is unbeaten with a record of 1 win, no losses. Standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, he weighed in right on the limit of 170 pounds. Fighting out of Leicester, England, Josh McManus. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a boxer and striker. His professional record reads 2 wins and 1 loss. Standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, he weighed in at 171 pounds. Fighting out of Liverpool, England, the Height and Hammer, Mick Stanton. And when the action begins, the referee in charge, Mr. Mark Goddard.
One of the best in the world, if not the best. Mark Goddard about to get this one underway. Josh McManus in the black. The Heighten Hammer. Mick Stanton in the grey with black trim. Touch of gloves and we're underway, Josh. Not a good time to be blinking if you're that way inclined. This one could be over in a flash.
Yeah, Stanton taking the centre of the cage and a big left hook, but
took a kick by way of counter. It just seemed to trip a little bit there, Josh. That could have been a terrifying start to the fight.
You get the feeling this is feints to just explosive striking. Both these guys they're twitching early.
And it's clear the game plan for Stanton already is to land those big hammers.
Yeah, Josh McManus, though, you know, he's got a couple of losses at amateur, you know, and he's never actually been TKO'd, though. He's never been stopped by strikes. So Stanton looking to be the first to do that.
The challenge, I'm sure he'll relish, Josh. Stanton loves to let those hands go. Nice body kick from McManus, though.
Oh.
Stanton drops for a takedown. Great work from Stanton.
Yeah, and it was his commitment to those high hooks that really sold it. And you can see as soon as the guard came up, it completely opened up the hips. It's a classic double leg because of it.
Stanton right in front of his own corner team. The likes of Ashley Reese, Conor Hignett, and of course his head coach Sean Martin, who really has built one of the real up-and-coming gyms in the north of England at the moment. Hammer have been having some great results of late.
McManus very offensive on his side here. He's been looking to grip underneath the leg, and you'd usually use that to try and roll through your opponent or get really underneath. He's got to be careful of the guillotine here, though. I think he needs to get a hand in to defend this neck. Arching in, this is really putting his back into the choke. Oh, just kept it slipping out.
Stanton trying to get that big squeeze. He's adjusted, though, and looks like he's going to try and sit up and go for the knee bar.
Deep half guard for McManus, using it to try and sweep. Very rare you see deep half used effectively in mixed martial arts, but he spanned through for the entry nicely.
Stanton staying busy with these short strokes on top here, Josh.
He's got the underhook now. McManus staying very calm. He is flat on his back, though, so I'd really like him to try and work his hips into this.
And he's making Stanton work for it. We'll have to give him that.
And he's checking. Oh, no-gi Ezekiel! Sorry, I was just getting a little bit excited there, because that's a fantastic choke if you can hit it, but it would be...
We can tell who the jiu-jitsu fan is.
Well, I mean, it would be very rare if he hit that in mixed martial arts, has to be said. But I suppose you've got a decent grip with the taping on the gloves.
Stanton just looking to control that one wrist and immediately goes back to attacking the neck. Very difficult to finish from this position. But he's putting points on the board regardless here with this long period of control.
Yeah, there are things Stanton can do to really secure that guillotine title, but McManus is paying it no mind whatsoever. Looking to go to deep half. You see how he's got a lockdown with the outside of the legs. He's going to look to roll them and lift his legs up. That's going to make Stanton go very heavy on the top of his body and his shoulder. It should allow him to roll all the way underneath him. Again, the guillotine threat. It's not a traditional lockdown hook he's got. That left leg would usually be coming all the way over the inside to hook.
Well, we hope you're enjoying our preliminary card here, streaming live on Facebook. If you are on social media tonight, don't forget to join in the conversation with the hashtag CW88. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the prelims and, of course, our great main card starting in just over an hour's time. Live on BT Sport, UFC Fight Pass, and, of course, all our international broadcast partners.
This is really good positional play on top from Mick Stanton. He's constantly fighting that right arm, getting that right underhook. He is looking to progress and pass, but he's also mixing in the shots. And see how he tries to flatten his man back out. Every time he gets up on the side, he frames, repummels that right arm, tries to flatten him back out. It's very good fundamentals of maintaining a top position from Mick Stanton.
And let's flip the coin here, Josh. What does McManus need to do? Would it be better, sir, perhaps just holding on and waiting for the stand-up?
I mean, I'm really... He's been getting up on his hip well, but he's looking for the deep half constantly. I'm surprised that when he gets the underhook like he has now, he hasn't tried to come up on a single leg or attack the near side of his opponent's body. He's always trying to take the long route underneath your opponent. It's great if you can get it, but it does leave you open to strikes and being flattened.
Well, after a somewhat fast and furious start, Stanton has just slowed the pace down. He's done enough to keep the position here for the majority of the second part of that round.
I think it's a really good first round for Stanton, and he's done what I think you know, he'll want it to do in terms of nullifying Josh McManus's offense. I mean, he completely shut him down for the most part of that first round after he got the takedown, and he did a great job on the feet to set that takedown up.
I'm sure we'll get to look at some of that action from the first round.
So here we go, we're going to see some of the striking. See how they're throwing feints.
Yeah, just slipped off the left hand there.
You see, he didn't even have to throw the strike, just the notion of him coming forward. So here was just good framing, good shots over the top. See how he keeps moving that left leg all the way out of the way, basing very wide out on it. Not only is that spreading his weight lower, but it's taking that grip away from Josh McManus.
Stanton just staring across the cage while he received instructions during that break in the action, keeping his eyes locked on McManus, and McManus kept his gaze the whole time. Touch of gloves, and we're underway in round two. 10 minutes left of this one if they need them. Nice lead left hand and great head movement to get out the way of the counter from Stanton there, really putting that boxing background to bear, Josh.
Yeah, good sharp straight jab right down the middle. It's the combination shots after that that are going to be the ones that really do the damage if you can land them.
Again looking to change levels there.
Got to be careful of his neck, switches the angle.
McManus attacking the neck here.
Yeah, he went for a traditional guillotine. He's tried to switch for an arm in. Stanton did a good job of bringing that right arm back inside to defend the first choke, and it meant the second one was never going to get close.
That arm in guillotine, the favourite of a Liverpool fighter we've seen many times on Cage Warriors, Leroy Barnes. I know Leroy has recently enjoyed the birth of his first child, so congratulations to Leroy from everyone here at Cage Warriors. I know he wanted to fight tonight, but obviously something slightly more important. I'm sure we'll see him back at the Echo in the future though, Josh.
Yeah, McManus walked his guard very high for a second there, but Stanton's doing a good job grinding him into the cage. You can see, oh, he's looking for a pendulum sweep, and he might be able to use the cage. Got to be careful not to hook his toes in, though.
Someone's cut here, Josh. I can't see from this angle if it's Stanton or McManus, but there appears to be a bit of blood there. And perhaps get a better angle in a few moments' time, but one of those short shots, I believe it's Stanton that's cut here, Josh.
Yeah, McManus had a really good, well, there's a lot of blood actually. Good angle to attack here, but a little bit lazy, gives up the pass.
I'm not sure if it was a short shot from the bottom or maybe an accidental clash of heads.
Fell onto a glancing elbow, perhaps. I couldn't quite see from our vantage.
I've not been able to discern where that cut is actually placed on Stanton's head to see if it's going to be something that bothers him, but he's being forced to defend a couple of submission attempts here.
Yeah, McManus with a very unorthodox setup, bridging off the cage to get the angle to spin for an armbar. You see again here, he's looking, but it's all just a little bit loose. Stanton again with the pass, and the cage is not there to help McManus this time. So I think it's Stanton's left eye where the cut has been suffered.
I've seen him blink a couple of times, so you've got to wonder, the longer this goes on, is it going to start bothering him even more?
Oh, he is playing a very uncomfortable game here. He's switching between short elbow and a knee to the face. It's not a knee strike, it's placing the knee, completely legal under the rule set, and in grappling, it's just extremely unpleasant for your opponent.
Again, going back to the well with that short elbow with Stanton. And if that cut is bothering him, he's certainly not showing it here.
You know, his hips are actually a bit high, but McManus isn't offering the kind of hip movement where he really needs to worry too much.
Again, looking looking for the arm was McManus, but Stanton straight out of danger.
You see how he's hugging the hips down, and then he's going to work his way slowly up the body. Frames nicely.
Yeah, that cut right on the cheekbone, so if there is a good place to be cut, it is probably there in terms of a cut around the eye.
Really classic hip switch pass from Stanton there. I mean, he's getting the best of McManus on the ground quite comprehensively now. Several good passes, and he's doing them technically, even with the cut and even with probably the fatigue that's starting to set in.
Just tried to slide that knee onto the belly, and McManus not successful on that occasion, but racking up points all the same is Mick Stanton here.
Yeah, he's going to look to pass again here, see if he turns that right knee in. He's got a frame though, not let McManus get up on his side.
And the crowd roaring Stanton on here every time he drops a couple of those short punches.
Stanton was thinking about a head and arm choke, but McManus reframes inside. And you see McManus is very flat now. He's holding that traditional lockdown on the leg, but really only as a method of stopping Stanton from progressing higher. He's not using it offensively at all right now.
Stanton told us earlier this week, Josh, that he came here tonight to put on a show in his hometown, and he wanted to put McManus away in 2 rounds. He's got just under 30 seconds, if that's still the game plan. But so far, it's been one-way traffic in favour of Stanton on the ground.
I mean, look, he might be disappointed with not stopping him, but it's an exceptionally comprehensive second round for Mick Stanton. Looking to take the back now. Good hip escape from Josh McManus.
Yeah, burst of activity there towards the end of that second round. And another big round for Stanton, you've got to think, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, there's physical damage on the face of Mick Stanton. He's the one wearing the worst of the, the obvious damage. But as you see on the replays here, other than a couple of kicks, and maybe we'll see where that cut happened, after he scored this takedown, it really was all Mick Stanton.
As you said, Josh, a great, unpleasant top control game from the height and the hammer.
Yeah, you'll see how he hits the elbow. Occasionally he'll pop that right knee up, drop it on the cheekbone. This was a good way for him to end the round. Trying to take the back. I don't think he needs to worry about submissions. He's got such a good base. He's mixing in plenty of strikes, those good short, sharp elbows and punches, and really wearing McManus down. You could absolutely make a case for a 10-8, depending on where that cut came from.
Well, we will see our third and final round for the first time this evening here at Cage Warriors 88. Stanton's fans on their feet in the crowd, cheering their man on. Let's see if McManus tries to go to work on that cut here with his hands.
Yeah, it's going to be curious to see how quickly Stanton tries to shoot in for another takedown, or if he goes back to his boxing for the third round.
And McManus' corner surely must have told their man that he needs a finish here, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely down the 2 rounds. It's a good shot over the top, but Stanton drove through it. Guillotine, can't quite see what the second hand is doing.
Just trying to snake it under. McManus trying to watch his back.
Oh, this is interesting, and I think he's got the right hand in, though.
Oh, Stanton grimacing there, Josh. That looks thoroughly unpleasant.
It looks like he's finding a little bit of space here.
Stanton mouth open, face going bright red. Grimacing as he tries to squeeze out of that choke, and he does.
Yeah, it's tough. Those arm-in guillotines are very tough to finish. The smallest amount of space, gritty opponent can feel it and can just try and ride it out. And so Stanton, wanting this back down, he's fallen into a crooked guard though. Triangle entry. Oh, shucks it off easily. Well, clearly McManus still dangerous.
Yeah, dicey moments for Stanton there. And when he popped out of that guillotine, you saw it, his coach turned round to the crowd of fans behind him and motioned for them to get on their feet and make some noise, perhaps feeling there was a bit of a momentum shift there. You need to keep Stano's head in the game.
Yes, Stanton's, he's still got to be careful, but McManus has got to start throwing these submissions up more regularly. The problem he's got is when he did that in the second round, they were a little bit loose and they left themselves open to pass, and he's just got to be prepared to scramble. Rather than concede the pass, he throws the submission up and he fails. He's got to scramble for all he's worth and try and get a top position or back to his feet. Here's the armbar if he can spin out. Oh, and Mark Goddard being very physical with adjusting the position. And he's still got an attacking position on his side if he can inch out onto his right hip here. There he goes.
Oh, again looking for the armbar.
Oh, and he's got a good bite on this.
Oh, Stanton able to slip out by the skin of his teeth there.
I really have to see a replay of what happened there. I don't know if maybe McManus thought he didn't have it, because it looked as though he was straightening a face-down armbar submission. But McManus has had better submission attempts in the opening 3 minutes of this round than he has in the rest of the fight. I really would love to see him keep it up for the last two.
And you hear referee Mark Goddard there telling Stanton he needs to improve that position.
Oh,
now defending a triangle again.
Yeah, if he loses it, he needs to switch to the armbar. That left leg needs to whip over the head.
Stanton trying to step over here to defend this one. McManus trying to stretch out the arm.
Yeah, he absolutely should be trying to attack the arm as well as the triangle.
Mark Goddard taking a very close look at this one. Staying on top of the action. Stanton looks to stack his man, and he's out.
Anxious moments again for Mick Stanton.
And this one, you know, quite often Josh will see the pace slow in the third round. This one's just picked up and up and up.
Yeah, you know what, this is what you've got to do on the bottom if you want to try and pick up any kind of win on the judges' scorecards without being in the top position. You've got to be constantly threatening these submissions. I mean, he's come very close a couple of times, really had, you know, some good opportunities, but
Stanton looking to create a little bit of space, just throwing enough of these short shots to keep that position. He's already been won once by Mark Goddard.
You know, depending on how the rest of this round shakes out, it's a tough one for the judges to score, I think, because it's been a lot of offense from Josh McManus here.
Very difficult to win a round from bottom position, but he certainly made his case as McManus. The first Legion man having his best round of the fight thus far here in the third. Stanton just with some short forearm shivers there, though.
Yeah, very effective at maintaining the range, though. And he's flattening McManus out again. He really is running out of time to do anything significant here. I think we're going to see Mick Stanton take the decision win, but a fantastic little ground scrap these two have had.
Absolutely. McManus has kept it interesting up until the death here, Josh. Final few seconds of the round. Stanton trying to finish with a flurry of offense here. And it's all over. Mick Stanton raises his hands. Yeah, clearly confident with the outcome here, Josh.
Yeah, I think in my mind, I'm going to have to agree with him. I think he probably did enough through the first two rounds. Third round, you know, I'm going to be really curious to see how the judges scored that one. Let's have a look at some of the replays. And he shot him for the takedown again off the hand, and he ended up in what was a very, very tight guillotine. You see the grimace on his face there.
And there are a number of times, Josh, during that third and final round that Stanton's grimace was very, very real.
I'm going to have to ask Mick Stanton about a couple of these triangle armbar combinations, because they looked exceptionally tight from our position.
Wow, what a performance from Stanton and McManus. Fantastic stuff here at Cage Warriors 88. Our judges are rendering their decision. We'll have it with you momentarily. Fans, do not go anywhere. More preliminary action on deck next with our featured bout. And of course, an incredible four-fight main card with two world championships to be decided. Victor Cheng versus Lee Chadwick for the vacant middleweight belt. Chris Fishgold defending his title against Alexander Jacobson. But meanwhile, we'll throw this one to our MC, Andy Friedlander, in the cage, and he will make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges scored this contest 29-27, 30-27, and 30-27 in favour of the winner. By unanimous decision, Mick the Heighten Hammer Stanton.
Mick Stanton, the Heighten Hammer, with the victory and a great show of respect He'll join Josh Palmer in the cage.
I'm here with a very happy Mick Stanton. Mick, you're coming off a loss. You had to turn a few things around. Give us your thoughts on how you're feeling right now.
Made up, buzzing. It's a dream come true to fight in front of everyone at the Echo Arena, so thank you very much. And my loyal fans who come to every fight, I couldn't do this without you, thank you. This is my dream, this. I love it.
It was a very comprehensive performance on the ground for you, but I've got to ask you that a few of those submissions in the third round, they look very tight from our position.
Listen, he had me then. I was going to kip then, but he had to kill me to win, lad.
It's a big victory for you. What's next for the rest of this year or into next year for you?
Truthfully, I was a bit gutted about that. I'd like to show me stand-up, but I broke my hand again last week. I didn't tell no one, just told me coach then. But I had good job I can wrestle, innit? I'm not pulling out of no fight now, that's it. I'm here. Cage Warriors, I friggin' love this show. Give me a contract, I want the world title. Give me the welterweights.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner, Mick Stanton.
A big statement from Mick Stanton, both in the cage and on the mic. He's here to stay at Cage Warriors and he wants that big gold belt.